Before the time skip, Damon was undoubtedly the strongest known character in the series. However, we all know that 3 years can change everything, especially in the Narutoverse. So I thought it'd be interesting to do a whole video regarding whether Boruto has finally surpassed Damon post time skip. I actually believe that this fight is going to be displayed in the coming chapters, so this question will be answered very soon. However, I'll discuss why I think this fight is going to happen later in this video. But this fight is nowhere near as one-sided as you may have thought, and this is why I definitely think it's worthy of its own video. So let's just kick this off with Boruto's upgrades, because we at least know a decent amount about that. The glaring new ability of Boruto's is the Rasengan Uzuhiko, an ability which can literally one-shot anybody in the verse. However, I think there is a slight hidden drawback from this power, which I think has been overlooked by the community. So Rasengan Uzuhiko uses the rotation of the earth to seemingly just kill off any user that it hits. But I think there is slightly more to this power and why it has the ability to just kill people after touching them. Boruto described it as using the planet's rotation to drain the user's life force. I think the way this works is Boruto can embed his Rasengan within any human, and then the Rasengan's chakra continues to rotate alongside the earth to slowly kill the user. Rasengan in itself is just compressed chakra, which has its rotation controlled into a ball form. So Boruto has taken this to a new level, and rather than making this into a ball like Naruto and the traditional Rasengans did, the rotation of the chakra can go around him and his opponents. Hence why we saw this swirling chakra which surrounds him, and also the chakra which has surrounded Code. And he does this by using the Earth's rotation as well. This is why the Rasengan Uzuhiko cannot be stopped after being placed on a user, as Boruto can literally just dissipate the chakra he embeds in the user. The other supposed ability which comes as a byproduct of the Rasengan Uzuhiko would be Boruto's ability to teleport. I don't think this is the case of Boruto moving extremely fast, and rather Boruto is actually teleporting like it seems. And hence why Code states that this goes beyond just regular dodging, and he couldn't read any of Boruto's movements. The way I think this actually works is Boruto uses the Earth's rotation alongside his chakra to move with the Earth's rotation, if that makes sense. We all know that the Earth rotates extremely fast, so if Boruto used that rotation, he could move at similar speeds. Damon noticed that the Rasengan Uzuhiko was causing the ground to shake in an earthquake-like fashion. Therefore, I'm under the impression that Boruto is affecting the Earth's rotation. The only time he actually affects the Earth's rotation is when he wants to teleport. By manipulating this rotation, like I said earlier, he's able to move or teleport at immense speeds. Therefore, this could explain how he ended up from one side of the Earth to the other side of the Earth in supposedly just an instant. So we know Boruto's Rasengan Uzuhiko is broken, as it gives him the option to literally teleport and easily kill his opponents. However, what I think is more interesting is the counter to this attack. I don't think there is a counter to Boruto's teleportation, but rather his ability to one-shot anybody. And I think Kawaki has the facilities to counter this at the moment. So this attack uses the Earth's rotation, and likely the gravity on the Earth as well. Therefore, likely to maintain this attack on the user, whoever Boruto attacks with the Rasengan Uzuhiko needs to be affected by the Earth's gravity. So my logic here is that Kawaki has access to leave Earth. Subsequently, I believe that if Kawaki leaves the Earth, the rotation and gravity can no longer bind Uzuhiko to Kawaki. So all Kawaki or Boruto's opponents would need to do is leave Earth. I say that's all they need to do, but at the moment only Kawaki has that ability, so it is quite a large feat to be able to do this. And I guess Code could also counter it if he had a claw mark on like the moon or just another planet. But I don't think Boruto would try to kill Kawaki necessarily. This is because he knows that Kawaki is holding Naruto and Hinata in that sort of like dimension of his. And if he killed Kawaki, there would literally be no way of bringing him back. The way you can blackmail him is by telling Kawaki that if Kawaki dies, it's essentially like Naruto dying, because Naruto will never be able to escape that realm. And he's basically in a coma-like state. So it's like an infinite coma, and essentially he would just be dead. I know most of you probably think that Kawaki can just absorb the chakra from Rasengan Uzuhiko, but I don't think it would be that simple. This is because it uses the Earth's rotation. Also, the chakra from Rasengan Uzuhiko doesn't look like a generic chakra-based attack. Rather, Uzuhiko seems to surround an area in chakra, which will be much harder to absorb or shrink down. Anyways, enough of the Rasengan Uzuhiko, let's discuss Boruto's other abilities, which he should now have access to. So Karma V2 is broken, and we all know this. It allowed Kawaki to gain the full powers of Ishiki's dojutsu. And obviously you have that concept of once a user uses Karma V2, as opposed to the remnants of the Osutsuki's combat skills coming out, the user can fully utilize the thousands of years of experience that that has been gained from that Otsutsuki. And we've seen firsthand the difference that this can make in terms of Boruto's power. And this happened in Boruto vs. Code, where Code went from manhandling Boruto to getting his ass handed to him. The only problem I see with Boruto's Karma V2 was the fact that he only gained the Byakugan from Momoshiki. However, we all know that Momoshiki had a Rinnegan in both of his hands. But this is actually quite interesting, as we now see that Boruto is using a glove. Now this may just seem like a new part of his design, and also to accompany his new fighting style with a sword, but I think that it is actually more interesting than what is displayed on the surface. I believe that Boruto is actually hiding the Rinnegan under that glove. So Boruto's Byakugan would emerge in his left eye, due to the fact that as far as we know, he can't actually use his right eye. And we also know that pure Karma wielders, or at least in Boruto and Kawaki's case, only gain one of the Otsutsuki's dojutsus, as opposed to one in both eyes. And I think that the same thing will apply for the Rinnegan. So the Rinnegan would only emerge in Boruto's left hand, and because Sasuke knows how the Rinnegan will drain Boruto's chakra, if it is constantly exposed, he would have told Boruto to cover it up. We know that by covering up a dojutsu, it stops it from draining chakra in the background. Kakashi did it with his Sharingan, and Sasuke did it with his Rinnegan by covering it up with his hair. So Boruto is covering the Rinnegan just to save the chakra use. And if you think about it, this actually makes a lot of sense. We know that Boruto is 100% Otsutsuki, however it seems that Boruto gets his own half and Momoshiki gets the other. We actually see this when Momoshiki and Boruto both had consciousness at the same time, and Boruto could open his left eye and take over that half of the body, whereas Momoshiki could control the other half. Therefore, it makes sense that the Rinnegan is only going to be in one side, because it's only going to be on the side of Momoshiki, and hence that's why Boruto is only wearing one glove. But I have a whole video kind of dedicated to how strong Boruto would be with a Rinnegan, so make sure to go check that out once you're done with this video. So yeah, without the jougan, which I assume a lot of you thought I would discuss, Boruto is extremely powerful. But the reason I'm not going to be discussing the jougan is because we actually have no idea whether this power is even a thing at the moment. But the question is he strong enough to defeat Damon and claim the title of number 1? Well, I guess Kawaki could claim that title, however I think that is implied and makes sense narratively that Boruto exceeds Kawaki at the moment. And again, that is worthy of a whole nother video. But let's not get off track here. Damon is likely not just going to sit still during the time skip. However, that does seem slightly in character of Damon. So I don't think that he would gain any major new abilities apart from flying, but I think that Boruto also has this ability. And this is because Amado said that if you have Otsutsuki genetics, that eventually you'll just unlock the ability to fly. And we see this with Kawaki. Anyways, I think that Daemon, similar to Kawaki, would now start to do some chakra training. This is because when it comes to training, the Leaf would definitely take this approach. And this is because they don't know much about Otsutsuki training, and rather they are fully proficient in all kinds of like chakra training. And if you think about it this way, Daemon previously was literally just a brawler. He had sparks of Naruto's old fighting with a lot of cool tricks and deceptive tactics, but Boruto is literally the most tactical fighter in the entire series right now. And this is all because he was a prodigy to start off with, he has trained under Sasuke, and he literally gained all of Momoshiki's experience. So if Daemon manages to close the gap on that battle IQ, the edge that Boruto had should be less significant. But Daemon is still a kid and likely won't be anywhere near the skills of Boruto in that sort of department. So let's talk about the raw strength, because that is probably the only way Daemon can win. So previously Daemon obviously fought with no chakra control, however he didn't rely on chakra based techniques like Kawaki's dojutsu, so that meant that his chakra was never necessarily being drained. But chakra isn't just used for jutsu, but just chakra manipulation will significantly boost Daemon's speed and attack potency, which was already quite crazy. A lot of people think it's chakra just a way to boost your jutsu, but I think a lot of people forget how useful it is in increasing a user's speed and damage. Daemon also clearly showed a deep understanding of power and the root of techniques. He displayed this when he understood that Boruto's Rasengan Uzuhiko was using the Earth's rotation, which must take a big ass brain because even I don't really know what this technique does, and we had it explained to us. He also saw a huge potential in Himawari, which we don't actually know what it is yet, but we just know that nobody else could see this. But the main question I have is, will Daemon have Ada during this fight? Or will Daemon have any human for this matter? Because if so, he has full access to reflect Boruto's attacks. Boruto doesn't actually know the counter to this unless Momoshiki told him. Therefore, if Daemon brings someone along, Boruto will likely struggle. But I think in a 1v1, just because of who trained him, I think that Boruto would have made much more progress. So I don't think Daemon would have made much progress, and I think that Boruto would have just grown exponentially to the point where he can actually surpass Daemon now. Even if Daemon did have more physical power, I don't think it would be enough. This is simply because Boruto could literally teleport, so it doesn't matter whether Damon is quicker or stronger because he can't actually hit Boruto. Also, Boruto doesn't even need to touch Damon to hurt him, and this could be a direct counter to Damon's reflection. This is because Boruto's Rasengan Uzuhiko might not actually have any killing intent from Boruto. It doesn't directly kill his enemy straight away, so I could see it bypassing this ability. We know that it can detect any killing intent, but if Boruto was to trick his mind into thinking that he wasn't actually trying to kill Damon, then perhaps it could negate that ability. However, in this fight, I do think the main deciding factor is literally just going to be intelligence, which I would actually love to see. I feel like a lot of Boruto's fights mainly focus on the taijutsu and just some like straight up brawls. However, in Naruto Part 1, there's a lot more like of a tactical side to the fights. And that is what I and a lot of other people really enjoyed about Naruto Part 1. Like any tactical fight just had a whole nother layer of just like enjoyment to it. But yeah, regarding like tactical fighting, I don't see Boruto losing to a kid like Damon, especially after training his mind and clearly showing a significant amount more maturity post time skip. And I think a part of this is Kishimoto just wanted to show some character development, as previously Boruto was a brat, but this character development actually causes Damon a lot of problems. Anyways, I don't think this will be any more than just a little skirmish, and I'm going to do a whole nother video on why Boruto may re-enter the village. But going back to the point I made at the start of the video on why I think this fight is actually inevitable. So Damon, before the time skip in chapter 80, told Boruto to get strong and come back to fight him. This seems very reminiscent of Kakashi in Naruto Part 1. This is because when Naruto Shippuden came round, we saw Kakashi versus Naruto and Sakura. Kishimoto has displayed many times in Boruto that he likes to get his fanbase reminiscing over old Naruto by having similar concepts reappear, and therefore it would make sense that Boruto and Damon have a little skirmish post time skip. Boruto pretty clearly got destroyed by Damon in round 1, like Naruto did in the round 1 against Kakashi. But if this was truly the same as Naruto, then it would make sense for Boruto to win the second round, or at least get very close. And we also saw that Naruto won using deceptive tactics rather than raw power, and I think that is very similar to how Boruto would be Damon. Anyways, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Also make sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and want to see more of it. And if you want to contribute to this theory or have anything to add, or even if you disagree with the theory, make sure to comment it down below. I love having discussions with you guys in the comments, and I'd like to know your thoughts on these kind of things so I can try and make better theories in the future. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.